Hey everyone, so today we're going to be connecting all of our devices into our raw switcher right here. As you can see, there is a video console here, or our switcher, that will bring all of our devices in here. I like to explain this a lot to our recording art students to let them know that video is just like audio. I know they get really nervous about our stuff, but it's almost exactly the same. So with video, or going back with audio, you guys talk into a microphone, right? That's how you talk into things. Well, for video, this is my microphone. I talk into this, right? Your microphone will be connected to an audio console. So this is connected to our video console. This is our switcher, right? On your audio console, you send it out to your speakers. That's how you guys hear your performance. Am I correct? Well, for video, when you send it out to like monitors like this, or like LED walls or projectors and stuff like that. This right here is like our speaker. We see our speakers. So it's exact same signal flow of it going in and coming out and where it goes in, goes out and into. So if you understand that, then you will definitely understand video. So if you did very well on your week 1 project with your stage plots, the video is the exact same thing. It's just a little different, or the difference is where you're going to place it, okay? So our video switcher here has SDI connections on the back. SDI are these cables right here, right? Like I showed you on the previous video, there's an SDI out. And if you guys see right here, this is the SDI cable. This is like the XLR for the video right here. It has a locking mechanism. So when you put it in, you'll twist the lock, and then when you're done, you'll twist it to unlock it. And you can see there's these little notches right there because there are little tabs on the side of the SDI connection, which I'll show you in just a bit, for it to go in. So what was really great about SDI, it doesn't matter which end that you use, the signal will flow both ways. I'm the person that likes to make sure that I put this, the funky part, away from the connection going into it, because there's not that much space, which I'll show you in a bit. So what I will do here is I will connect this side on my camera, and then send the nice side, which is this side right over here, towards my switcher, right? So we have SDI connection. The other connection I'm going to show you is this guy right here. We have a DVI connection for our laptop. Our laptop does not have an SDI on the side of it, right? So we have a little older laptop that has the Thunderbolt connection that will let us connect to a converter. They also have the USB-C ones, but it all will connect to this AJA converter, which you guys can see here. There's a DVI in. So we're going to go out from the laptop into here, and it will convert the signal to SDI. And now we're able to come out of the SDI converter into here. So now we will be able to get the video camera and our laptop into our switcher, right? So now I need to go ahead. Those are my 2 inputs, right? We have channel 1 and channel 2, input 1, input 2, and now I need to send my signal out. So for our presentations, we will usually have 3 outs. We'll have 2 monitors that we'll send out to. So a monitor for our talent, and maybe a monitor for our lighting designer, so they can see how the light looks in video. And then we'll also have an out for our projector. So say if there's a big audience, we want them to see what they're talking about, especially if they were to go to the laptop. Not everyone can see the little screen on stage. So now we have this big projector that we could send that out, and I could address certain things out. And I'll explain that in just a bit as well. So we have the ins coming in, and then we're going to send the outs to, like, say, our monitor there. Our monitor has an HDMI input, like how majority of your TVs at home. Like my TV has an HDMI in. It does not have an SDI in. So what we're going to need is a converter. As you guys can see, there's one ready attached to the back of this monitor. This converter is going to need power. So we're going to have an awesome little power for the converter right here. And then we are going to go have an HDMI cable from that converter to our TV. So we're going to bring the SDI out from here into the TV, into that converter. It will convert the signal from SDI and then send it out HDMI, and then that will be able to plug into our TV, all right? That will also work with our projector that we did earlier, and then any other monitors that we'll have. We need something like that. Cool. So as you can see, we have a lot of little devices like converters and cables, but all of it goes inside to our switcher, and from our switcher, we're able to send everything out. Once you know where everything goes and you have the correct cable, and all you have to do is just plug everything in. As you can see right here on the back of the ROS crossover, we have the top row is our inputs. You can see it says in, from N1 to N12. So this has 12 inputs. The bottom row right here are our outputs. We have aux 1, 2, and 3. So we're able to send out to 3 different sources. So like I could go a monitor 1, a monitor 2, and the projector if I wanted to, or whichever way I want to go with that. Then we have a PV. PV stands for preview, all right? This out is going to take care of our monitor, which we'll take care in a bit. And then we have PGM1 and PGM2. This right here, we're able to send out the actual program to different sources. So I could send one to a recorder and one to, like, say, a satellite dish for something to go send out to our home. So think of, like, say, a live production, and we were to, what's it called, wanted people to see this, I could send a program 1 out to, say, a truck that has a big satellite dish and let that send out to the people out there in the real world. And I could send program number 2 to a recorder for it to be recorded for a later viewing. Or if we wanted to, we could send program to a different location of a room. So say they're not in the same location of where everyone's at. Say like there's a satellite room. We could go ahead and send program out there, and they could see that on the monitors. And then we could send out another program to a different location as well. So there's a lot of different things we could do on this switcher. The bigger the switcher, the more things you could do. For this switcher, this is ideal for, like, say, a church or a little conference. This is a nice little mini thing. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take care of our outputs and our inputs. We have 2 inputs that we're going to deal with. Input 1 will be our camera. Input 2 will be our laptop, all right? We're going to go ahead and take care of our auxes. We're going to do aux 1 will be for our main monitor. And if we wanted to, we could do aux 2 for the projector that we saw in the video before. But today we're going to do the aux 1. I'm going to go ahead and deal with our PV so our monitor inside can actually see our preview. And we're going to do a program number 1 because we're only going to record to one thing. All right. So I already have put all my SDI cables through the rabbit hole that I have, and I'm going to start connecting it. All right. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take care of my bottom rows first. Makes it easier for me. So this cable right here is going to be for our TV monitor. It is also great to make sure that you label some of the cables. That will help out in the long run. But for today, I know this is going to be our monitor. As you can see, aux 1 is going to go to our TV monitor. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be our preview. Our preview is going to be the PV, and I have a converter here, which I explained to you guys on our TV monitor earlier. This switcher has a monitor inside, and that has an HDMI cable. So I have a converter here that will take the SDI and convert it to HDMI. So I have that plugged into there. And then the last cable I'm going to plug in is going to be program number 1 in the bottom row, which is this cable right here. And this cable will let me see, let me record whatever is going out of program number 1. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and connect my input. As you can see, I connected the bottom row. If I had 12 inputs and I had all 12 inputs plugged in, going underneath that would be very, very difficult. So I like to start from the bottom and work my way up, because now when it's time for me to plug in my my inputs, I can definitely do so. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and plug in my laptop, which I know is going to be input number 2. As you can see, I'm just plugging it in right there, trying to make it easy for me. And my next input is going to be my camera. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it slides in and it twists. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera right over here, but you guys can see these little notches on the side. You remember the SDI cable has those indentions that you're able to slide them in, and you want to twist it. As you guys have been seeing me, I'm twisting my cable to lock it. So I'm unlocking it, so I'm able to take my cable out. If I had this plugged in and locked in, if I were to yank it, what would happen is this connection will stay here, but the cable will come loose, and now that's a broken connection. So I want to make sure that when I'm done, I twist and I take my my connection out. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in, and now I'm locked in. So that's how you will connect the back side of this. You want to make sure it has power. Everything is all working. And now we should be ready to start our ROS crossover. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and set my multi-view. The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I hit Menu, System, and you can see right here are my 3 codes right here, right? I want to make sure I click on the multi-view because that is what deals with their screen. Once I click into there, you can see my preview. I have it, I could turn it on or off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Once I turn it on, we're able to see our multi-view, all right? As you can see on our multi-view, you can see channel 1 or input 1 and input 2, they're not synced. You can see there's like a bar in between them. So what's going on is that the ROS switcher has a clock, the camera, input 1, has a clock, and the laptop has a clock. So the next step we need to do, we need to make this into the master. So we're going to make ROS the boss. So I'm going to click on Menu, Reference, and you can see right here, ROS is saying I want to do 1080 by 60, 16 by 9. I am cool with that. I'm going to hit Next. Do you see right here where it says External? We're going to turn it left to make it internal and confirming it. Once we do that, what we are doing is we're making ROS right now the boss. We're making him the master, and now everyone knows that this is the clock. As you can see on our inputs, input 1 and 2 are still not synced. But now that we know this is the main clock, now we're going to have all the other ones follow it. So I'm going to go back to Menu, Reference, Next. You see right here where it says FC, FS1, we have 4 frame sync. So I'm going to be on 1. I'm going to make sure I turn the first one into input. See, if I were to go all the way over, it goes to bust. I want to go to input, and I have 12 inputs to pick from. Remember, in the back of the switcher, I have 12 inputs. So the camera is on input 1. So I want to make sure I'm on 1. So I'm going to go make sure that's on input 1. Click it and confirm it. Now my camera is synced. Whatever I do to number 1, I got to do to number 2. So Menu, Reference, Next. Go to number 2 for our frame sync. Input. And then you can see right here, the laptop's in input number 2. So I want to make sure that's on number 2. Click it and confirm it. And now our input is nice and set, as you can see, and on multi-viewer, okay? Here on the switcher, we have our where we can send our certain things. You remember we have the 3 auxes, aux 1, 2, and 3. So if I hit aux 1, I could tell what to see. So if I wanted to see the camera, it would be input 1. If I want to see the laptop, it would be input 2. If I had other inputs like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm able to do so. But right now, I'm just going to keep it on our camera, okay? Right here are where we switch and all that kind of stuff. As for my recording art studio, think of this as like your channel strips on your console. It's definitely like an analog console. So whatever it says on top, it will follow down the row. So if this says black, this right here, this row is our program. So this is black, this first one's going to be black, and this is black. This is input 1, this is input 1, this is input 1. Input 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, all the way across, okay? And our switcher, the bottom row, is it says preset, which is AKA our preview. If you look on our multi-view, if I hit input 1, you can see the camera there. If I hit input 2, you can see the camera in the top left. 1, 2, and black. So you see black, 1, and 2. If I hit the second row right here, that's our program. Program is what you see at home. So if you were to watch a live production, this is what you would see going to our TVs. So right now it's on black, but if I hit input 1, you can see on the top right where it says program, people at home will be able to see it. If I hit 2, there goes the laptop, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go back to black. So now we have black in program, black in preview. Over here to our right, we have our dissolve, we have wipes, and we have our digital video effects, which is our DVE. We have our cut and our auto trans, as well as our T-bar. The auto trans and T-bar are the same thing. If you don't want to use this, you could use that to help you out. So like say of live production, I want input 2 into preview. You can see that. And the director will be like, all right, let's go ahead and dissolve in it in 3, 2, 1. I could go ahead and dissolve it as so. Or I'm going to bring it back to black. Or I can hit this button and you can see it automatically does it. I prefer we use the auto trans if you were here because it automatically does it for you. A lot of times students would do this. And it would take forever to get to program. Just go ahead and do it or use that. When we use the cut feature, we're able to cut right to it. This would be ideally for like a sporting event. So go ahead and cut, and then put input 1 into preview, and then cut in between each camera. You see how I'm cutting in between camera 1, laptop 2, camera 1, input 2, camera 1, input 2. You see how I did that? And say we want to go to commercial break, we get black into preview, and let's go ahead and fade out to black, like so. So this is our switcher right here. You want to make sure you send the correct input to your auxes. Remember, this is our program. We usually do not touch this button right here. We usually always, the technical director will always touch the preview and then bring it in either through a cut or a auto transition, like so. When you are done with the show, and say we're packing up for the day and we're done, you always want to reset your switcher. To do so, you want to make sure you hit menu. You see this number 5 right here where it says reset. You click there, and then you're going to hit next twice. So you're going to go 1, 2. You can see where it says factory reset. You're going to click it and confirm it, and it deletes everything and puts everything back to the reset of this ROS crossover.